What's up, everyone? Cardfight Fanatic here with my friend Josh. If you want to check out his channel, Cardfight Sanctuary, check the link in the description below. But for now, we're going to have a discussion on deck equality. Whether all decks were built equally. And first, I'm going to ask your opinion on the matter.
I believe that that all decks aren't created equally because some get a lot more support than others. But I think that the mechanic of triggers compensates for that. Like, it can make it so that any deck can beat another.
Yeah, that's very true. Like, you always have to run 16 triggers. It's a rule of the game.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's that luck and knowing when you have this many cards in deck and this many triggers, or knowing this person didn't get Novel and you may have gotten, like, what's an underappreciated one? Grand Blue, like Cocytus. If you got your Cocytus and they didn't get their Novel, then you have a better chance because...
And if you're pulling a lot more triggers than Novel.
Yeah.
If you're pulling double crits or double draws or something along those lines,
it just gives you that much of
over them.
Exactly. It gives you that much of an advantage that you can beat those top decks. Of course, stuff like Kagero, Narukami, all that Gold Paladins, they get really good support
all the time because they're the main clans.
People play them the most
popular. Link Joker as well. They're going to be getting constant support.
But with
all kinds of stuff like Grand Blue, Spike Brothers, they're not going to get, or Mega Colony as well, they get support maybe once a season of, like, and then kind of just dead after that.
Yeah, they really a lot of the time fall flat, and I think that's why all of this really comes up, the questions about equal decks and all that. Because some things just don't seem to have enough support. Which they don't. Some don't. Neo Nectar, for example. But
they haven't got support since what, set 5?
Yeah, something like that. Something crazy. I mean, they're coming out with Musketeers, but...
well, they have Musketeers out, but
I mean...
not very good.
Exactly. I mean, they're coming out with better Musketeers, but not a lot of people really have high hopes for that type of thing. But in the question of all decks being created equally, it doesn't really
have a clear-cut answer.
Yeah, there's
yes and no. Yes, because triggers are a big part of this game. You're gonna be
luck.
Yeah, there's a lot of luck in this game, no matter what deck you play. Triggers are always going to be something that you could get, you could not get. And if you get a lot of triggers when your opponent doesn't get a lot, chances are you're going to have a big advantage on them.
You could possibly get grade screwed.
Yep, grade screwed as well.
Even on your redraw.
Yep.
There's no definite, clear win.
Just because you're running a deck. Novel is top deck of the format, but it does not mean it's unbeatable. Even decks like Grand Blue, Spike Brothers, Mega Colony, Neo Nectars could still beat them. Just it comes down to triggers and what they draw.
And I think the question will probably get evened out a little bit once Legion hits.
Yeah, I think that...
I feel like there will still be more support for those specific decks because the support's already out. But
it depends. We'll
like
have to see.
People are looking for like Seekers and stuff. But I mean, even with all of that, you see the clear-cut popular decks, but you don't see what's going to happen with all the other decks that you don't expect.
Mega Colony, Spike Brothers, Neo Nectars, Grand Blue. Those are the bottom decks that get support once a season, then you never see them again. And I mean, they're okay right when they come out, but just kind of falls flat after a while because no one will really play it unless those hardcore lovers of those clans. No one will really play them because they're like the clans that are kind of just like, ooh, get away. Like they're shunned out because they barely get any support.
Yeah, but even like, say, Angel Feather. People even at like our locals see Angel Feather and they're like, I bet that's bad because you don't see much support for it. But we have someone who runs Angel Feathers at our locals. Yeah, Celestials, and it's
very good.
It kicks ass.
Yep.
Okay, it's just really, really good. It's like if you have the right conditions, just like most decks, if you have the right conditions, if you have the right triggers, if you have what you need,
if you have your luck going for you, you have a pretty good chance of winning.
It can be harder for those decks that have less support.
Right. I think that the trigger mechanic makes the decks more equal, but I think that all decks weren't created equal, if that makes sense. I think all decks were made, but I think the big clans, like I said, like we both said, Kagero, Narukami, Royal Paladin, Gold Paladin, all those clans are all huge clans, and they're gonna get support
Throughout
almost
the year.
every single set. They're gonna get that support, and I mean they're gonna be top because they're just gonna keep on getting new cards and keep on evolving with the meta. When those lower clans that we've said many times already are gonna fall flat because they're not gonna get any new cards.
And if people, it really, like, as is card games and people who play them, if something is seen to be more popular, it is gonna get that support. You can't just be like,
Right.
come out with Neo Nectar support. They're gonna go to Narukami, they're gonna go to Kagero, they're gonna take those clans that are just really popular and they're gonna power them up, and they're just gonna keep adding.
They gotta make money, and if they put constant support into nothing, or into things that they didn't want to play, that no one wants to play, then Bushiroad would be out of business pretty quick.
Yeah. So, pretty much to answer the question, just like he said, yes and no. There's no clear cut.
Decks weren't created equally, but the mechanics of the original game is what makes it so that any deck can beat any deck.
Yeah, the game is equal, the decks are not.
Right.
That's
balance.
That's pretty much as clear as we can get.
Right.
So,
exactly.
Thanks for your time. Appreciate the watch. Like, subscribe. See you later.